I've been designing, printing, and selling my own greeting cards online and at in-person markets for over 2 years now. So in today's video, I'm sharing an updated, in-depth look into my process for how I make my greeting cards at home using Procreate. You can design in any program that allows you to work at 8.5 by 11 inches, so Canva, Clip Studio Paint, Photoshop, Illustrator, or really any other design program will work for this. I'm starting out in my sketchbook. Sometimes I'll sketch directly on my iPad, other times, like today, I'm opting for my sketchbook. I wholeheartedly believe that you can't go wrong with a good birthday card. They're timeless, they're always in season, and there's so many different directions you can create with them. Today I'm going for a classic route with a pretty cake, some fun candles, and lots of color. I like to keep my first few sketches pretty loose as I figure out and hone in on a more concrete idea. My main focus is to keep the text towards the top of the card, and then everything else can just kind of fall into place around it. When sketching out ideas for a card, I have to keep in mind that the bottom portion typically isn't shown, so I do my best to refrain from adding anything important in that lower third. Once I'm happy with my sketch, I'll finalize it in Procreate on an 8.5 by 11 inch canvas. I use an 8.5 by 11 inch canvas because the final art will be on a canvas of the same size. After I have the final sketch done, I'm ready to play around with some colors. I like to have some kind of a plan for my color palette before going in on the final art. Nothing has to be permanent, just a general idea to capture the main colors and just the overall vibe of the card. Once I settle on a palette, I am ready to create a new canvas. I do that by going up to this little plus sign here. I set the dimensions to 8.5 by 11 inches and the DPI or dots per inch to 300 or higher. I'll then make sure my color mode is set to CMYK. This ensures the vibrant colors that are seen on screen will translate directly to the paper. Since the final art will be 4.25 by 5.5 inches once the card is printed and cut and folded, I designed them on a canvas that's 8.5 by 11. This way I'm able to proportionally scale them down to half of the length and the width that I originally started with, and I'm not losing out on the quality of the finished art. When it comes to coloring, I like to fill in large areas of color using the 6B pencil because it gives my art a really nice hand-drawn look. This part is truly what takes the longest amount of time when making a new card. It's in moments like these where I can enter a flow state and get a lot done. Typically I'll have some music on in the background and I'll just let myself go. I am, however, always keeping in mind the initial vision I had for each card. I want every design I make to be eye-catching and something people will want to keep after they receive it. I've held on to several cards over the years, in part because 1, they're from someone special and they hold a lot of sentimental value, and 2, because they're designed really well. I'm keeping all of this in mind as I work, so even though I've chosen a color palette, if one just isn't working or it's not meshing well with the rest of them, then I'm not afraid to change it and find something that does work. For example, I made kind of a last-minute decision to include this table that the cake stand is sitting on just to kind of ground the whole thing because I felt like it was missing something. I'm so glad I decided to include the table because it really does just tie everything together. And just like that, we have a fully finished design. For my final print file, I am opening up another canvas that is 8.5 by 11 inches, set to 300 DPI and CMYK. I'm then going to turn on the drawing guide by going up to the wrench icon, selecting the canvas, and then toggling drawing guide on. I'm then going to increase the grid size until I have these just 2 lines separating the canvas to make 4 squares. Once I have that set, then I can save the drawing guide. I'm then going to import the back of the cards. I already have this design saved to my files as an 8.5 by 11 inch PNG. I can then go up to the selection tool or the cursor, toggle magnetics on, and ensure snapping is also turned on. Now with uniform selected, I can proportionally scale the back of the card down to 4.25 by 5.5 inches. I want the art to snap to that drawing guide we have in place, and this is indicated by the yellow grid lines that appear. I'm then going to duplicate that layer and move it down so now I have 2 backs of the cards on one file. Now it's time to import the final art. So to save this, I'm just going to go up to the wrench icon, share, and then save as a PNG. Now back to my print file, I'm going to go to the wrench icon, add, insert a photo, and upload my final art. Again, I'm going to make sure magnetics and snapping are turned on. And now I can just grab the final art and scale it down so it fits in that upper right quadrant of the print file. To give ourselves a guideline to cut from when we print the final art, I'm just going to take the monoline brush, and with a dark color selected, I am going to draw a line, a somewhat straight line, across the page, and then tap and hold the screen to make sure that it is a straight line. And then I'm going to lower the opacity way down so that we can barely see this line after the final art is printed. Now I'm just going to zoom in to ensure I like the way everything's looking, and then I can export the final design as a PNG. And then you can print directly from your iPad, but I prefer to print from my laptop, so I'm going to airdrop it to myself. Moving on to the printer, I use the Epson EcoTank 3760. This printer has been very reliable for me over the last few years, and it's one I'd highly recommend. I'll start by removing the regular printer paper and replacing it with this matte version from Red River paper. So depending on if you use this paper or another premium option, it typically has a side that is preferred that you print on. With this premium matte paper, it has a smoother side that is meant to be printed on. So when I load it into the printer, I make sure that it is facing down so that the card will print on that side. Once I've loaded my paper into the tray face down, I can then close the door to the paper tray. This little menu automatically appears whenever you close that door. I'm going to use the arrow keys and leave paper size set to letter 8.5 by 11 inches, and paper type I'm going to change to premium matte. And now we are ready to go back to the device we are printing from. In my case, that's my laptop. Once I have the finished design pulled up, I'm going to use the shortcut Command P to pull up the print dialog box. The first thing I'll do is make sure print in color is toggled on. This next step can go one of two ways depending on whether your card design extends all the way to the edge. Now if I were printing a design like this one that didn't go all the way to the edge of the page, then I would leave the paper size at the default US letter 8.5 by 11 inches. However, this design does stretch all the way to the edge and I don't want that white border to show, so under paper size, I'm going to select US letter borderless to remove that border and push the design all the way to the edge of the paper. In the media and quality section, I'll make sure media is set to photo matte paper to match my printer settings, and I want to set the quality to best. I'm now ready to print. These print settings have worked best for me because my designs always come out looking just as vibrant as they did on screen, and I found the quality of my art always turns out great. I wanted to take a quick second and talk about printing borderless. With my printer, for whatever reason, the bottom card on the page always is cut off just the tiniest bit. You can see it pretty clearly here with my cutie design where the cutie on the right is just barely cut off. It's not a big deal, but it's definitely something to note, and that's part of why I stress the importance of not really putting anything important at the bottom of the design. So just something to note and be aware of. I haven't found a fix for it, and it's just something I accept at this point. All of my cards are like this, and it is what it is. Once my cards are printed, I have just a few more steps to get through before they are fully finished. To score my cards, I use a ruler and pencil to measure the width of the card. I mark it off at the exact middle, 4¼ inches. I'll then grab my Westcott cutting and scoring board, and I'll use the scoring glider. I prefer to score my cards first, that way I ensure that both cards printed are perfectly scored down the middle. I'll then head over to my swing line paper trimmer, and using that cut line we made as a reference in our print file, I can easily cut the paper, creating 2 cards from one sheet. And since I've already scored the cards, I can then fold each one evenly, and just like that, we have 2 super cute greeting cards. When I display my cards at art markets and when I ship them, I like to package each card with an envelope, and I seal them up in a clear bag, both from clearbags.com. When I fulfill larger orders, multiple cards and envelopes can usually fit in one bag and then be sent out in a rigid mailer. And that is going to be every single step I take to make my greeting cards at home using Procreate. Like I said earlier on, I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I really feel as though I have it down to an exact science. Just a heads up that all the cards you see in this video are now available on my site. If you've been wanting any cards from me, you can find them there, and I'll link my website down in the description. I made a very similar video to this one a couple years ago, and I've had it on my mind to make an updated version for so long. I hope it's been helpful to you in some way. Please feel free to ask me any questions you may have in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!